Nigeria just witnessed something strange. Over 300 kidnapped children, zero casualties, zero arrests, and the president taking credit. What really happened? Let me break this down for you. But before we dive in, if you want to stay updated on Nigerian news and Africa as a whole, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because trust me, you don't want to miss out what I'm about to expose. Let me take you back to last week. Nigeria was bleeding. On Monday, November 18th, armed men kidnapped 25 school girls from a boarding school in Kebbi State, killing the school's vice principal. Just one day later, gunmen attacked a church in Kwara State during a live-streamed service and took 38 worshippers hostage. The whole attack was caught on camera. People running, screaming, gunshots everywhere. But the worst was yet to come. On Friday morning, November 22nd, armed men stormed St. Mary's Catholic Church in Niger State at 2 a.m. and abducted over 300 children. To be exact, 303 pupils and 12 teachers. These were kids aged 10 and 18 years, sleeping in their hostels when terrorists broke in. Now, here is what makes this crazy. The Niger State government had already warned all boarding schools to close because they had intelligence about possible attacks. But St. Mary's School ignored the warning, and the children paid the price. This was not just random violence. President Trump had just weeks earlier threatened to send the US military, guns blazing, to Nigeria over attacks on Christians. The international spotlight was on Nigeria. The pressure was mounting. President Tinubu cancelled his trip to the G20 summit in South Africa. He said he needed to stay home to coordinate security efforts. The whole country was watching. The world was equally watching. Then on Sunday, President Tinubu posted on X. He announced that all 38 worshippers from Kwara had been rescued and that 51 out of the missing students from the Catholic school had been recovered. His words were confident. He said, "Thanks to the efforts of our security forces, I am closely monitoring the security situation. Let me be clear, I will not relent. Every Nigerian has the right to safety, and under my watch, we will secure this nation." Sounds good, right? A strong precedent, decisive action, mission accomplished. But wait, let's think about this. Over 400 people kidnapped in 1 week, 2 successful rescue operations, and somehow zero casualties. Not one kidnapper killed, not one security officer injured, no gunfight, no arrests, nothing. Does that sound like a rescue to you? Here is what nobody is saying out loud. The church kidnappers had already demanded 100 million naira per worshipper. And about those students who recovered, the Christian Association of Nigeria said 50 students actually escaped on their own between Friday and Saturday. They were not rescued, they ran away. But Mr. President is calling it a recovery by security forces. So what really happened? Most likely, ransom was paid. The kidnappers got their money, released the victims, and everyone agreed to call it a rescue to save face. Why? Because admitting you paid ransom is embarrassing. It makes the government look weak, and it encourages more kidnappers because now criminals know this thing pays. Nigerians ain't fooled. Nigerian rapper and activist Falz asked the hard question on X. Where are the abductors? Were they killed? How many arrests were made? This does not cut it. Other Nigerians on social media were divided. Some said this is how a president is supposed to act, praising Tinubu for cancelling his trip. While Tinubu is celebrating rescuing 51 students, 265 children and teachers are still being held captive somewhere in the forest. Over 250 children still missing, still in danger. This is Nigeria's reality now. At least 1,500 students have been kidnapped in Nigeria since the famous Chibok schoolgirls case over a decade ago, and many were only released after ransoms were paid. It's become a business model. Kidnap, demand ransom, get paid, release, repeat. And governments keep playing this game. where they pay but pretend they did not. They call ransoms negotiations. They call purchased releases rescues, and the cycle continues. The kidnappers are getting bold, the attackers are getting bigger, and Nigerian parents are terrified to send their children to school. So here is the uncomfortable truth. Tinubu's tweet was not leadership, it was damage control. It was PR. It was a man trying to look strong while 265 children are still in captivity. Real leadership would be stopping these attacks before they happen. Real strength would be dismantling the kidnapping networks. Real victory would be arresting the criminals, not just buying back their victims. But as long as paying ransoms is easier than fixing security, this will never stop. So if you found this breakdown eye-opening, please subscribe to this channel. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think the government paid ransom? And share this video because Nigerians need to wake up to what's really happening around us. See you in the next one, guys. Peace and love.